What is up, everybody? It's your boy Stu back with another episode. And tonight, I'm going to tell you what, it is about to be fire like what is in my bowl right damn now, y'all. I got two amazing special guests in the house with us tonight. One is one of the funniest dudes I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. I tell you what. But I tell you, if you show up to his show, you better be ready to boo somebody because he's going to tell you to do it anyway. And the other guy is my man. He's an actor / Bigfoot Hunter. I mean, we got two amazing souls in the house with us tonight. Buck D, a.k.a. Buck Dangerous, a.k.a. whatever else he's going to tell you he go by, as well as my man Jesus Jr., a.k.a. Gonzo from Bacon Bad. Gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
Good, man. Good.
Right on.
I'm alive.
Alive. and happy, smiling and all of it.
I'm trying to put on a happy face even though I ain't got no greens.
Well, you know. Well, I guess I'm just know that I'm smoking for the both of us, my friend.
Hey, I'm smiling because I'm still high from last night.
Well, shit, I'm gonna be blowing it at the camera, so y'all might actually end up feeling the effect. As much as my black ass smoke, y'all probably both gonna be high by the end of it.
I need it.
So Jesus, man, what you been into lately, man? For those who don't know, Jesus is actually a really good personal friend of mine as well. Not just, we're not just doing this, but Jesus actually, he tattoo artist. He did this one for me right here. Man, we got history. So Jesus, what's been happening, fam?
So I've taken a break, you could say, from movies and TV. I've done over 50 movies and television shows and now I'm like concentrating on stuff, and producing my own footage and doing documentaries and doing a whole bunch of paranormal scientific research at the same time, dealing with ghosts, UFOs, and Sasquatch.
Wow.
Hell yes. And I mean, you big, Jesus. I mean, you a big dude, but you ain't necessarily Sasquatch big. I mean, I saw you. We gonna get into it. I saw your documentary, man, and I got a bunch of questions. Rob got a bunch of questions, or Buck got a bunch of questions. Man, it's gonna be crazy. But Buck, what's been happening with you, man? What's been going on? I know you're normally in the clubs doing your thing on the microphone, but what's been happening since lockdown, man?
Oh man, just I actually, you know what? I got some. As you can see, I got my daughter here. She want to be in my face right now, but I've actually gotten booked for a few shows when this is already over with. So things have been going good, man. I'm going to be at the Inn of the Mountain Gods out in Ruidoso. I'm going to go back. My last shows were out in Phoenix the weekend before all this happened. So I'm going to go back out to the Tempe Improv. I'm going to be performing out there. So, ain't too much I can do right now. But when it's over, I'm going to hit the ground running, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm telling y'all, I don't just say this because I'm a real big fan of stand-up comedy. And I love somebody who can shit talk for real. Like, if you can work the crowd and that's how I know you funny. And the very first time I saw you do, pretty much all you did was just work the damn crowd.
Right.
And you just killed everybody that's trying to step on your set, man. So congratulations, man. At least I don't care what anybody got to say. You got my seal of approval.
Thanks, man.
Right on. So, I thought we would just go ahead and put this whole thing together because, I mean, what's better than having one of the funniest cats that I know interview one of the most, going to go get it and bring you all that different type of information cats that I know. I mean, Jesus, honestly, bro, Jesus, for real, you are part of the reason why I have any idea about Sasquatch or about like aliens and like any real, because I really believe in that shit. So like, you're part of the reason why I got anything to do with it, fam. So, man, I want y'all to come together tonight. I don't have very many questions, so I'm gonna sit back and smoke and enjoy the show.
Stu, I have questions, man. Just, I watched the documentary, man. Hey, that was some eye-opening stuff because I believe in it too. It's crazy because when it comes to people of color, Black folks, it ain't a lot of shit we believe in, man. So I followed the Sasquatch and the Bigfoot and all that. But when I saw your stuff, the difference was you actually made it real because of the way you were telling it. And also, look at you, bro. Man, if I'm running for you on the streets, ain't no fucking way I'd be like, this dude out in the woods looking for Bigfoot, man. Like how did you even begin doing all this? Like, how did you start this?
Well, what happened was in Rio Doso, I was living in the mountains, and I heard calls, screams. I was with my family, and the whole forest just shut up. You know what I mean? Bugs, birds.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. So I ran to the internet and I looked it up, Bigfoot calls, recording. Same thing. Then ran back outside and it did it again. So at that point, I was just, you know what I mean? And my mom, she worked for the forest department. So they would get reports of Bigfoots in the area. Right there at the end of the Mountain Gods, I've been there. I was a celebrity guest for the King of the Cage with Denzel Washington and the Hughes brothers. And I used to live on that res in Mescalero too. So there's a whole bunch of, reports and old stories from back in the day about Bigfoot there. So the one cool thing about, just like you said, folks like known for doing that kind of stuff, but that's about the safest place a dude can be and not get harassed by the police. And get to enjoy a good smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's so funny, Stu? When you came to me, I was like, okay, I'm going to be talking to a dude named Jesus. And now his name is really Jesus. I'm talking to Jesus about some damn Bigfoot. That's crazy. Hey, man, I feel like I've been smoking. Night. Stu, I think some of your weed getting to me, bro, because I'm like, I'm talking to Jesus about Bigfoot.
It's already.
No, because so after I watched your thing, Jesus, like all of my experience with the Bigfoot is up in like Washington and the Northeast. Not the Northeast, but the Northwest area. I had no clue. When I moved here, all I heard was chupacabra, goddamn shit like that. You never hear about Bigfoot.
Skinwalkers.
Yeah, skinwalkers and stuff like that. So, like, how? I just don't understand how you came about the whole Bigfoot thing in New Mexico.
Well, the little forest that we do have here, because I always like saw UFOs a lot of the time, and between my movies and TV, the reporters had asked me, "Hey, what are you doing in your spare time?" And I like just going looking around, like I said, trying to get away from everything and everyone, and I kept on finding more and more stuff and seeing Bigfoot tracks and hearing stories from people that want to talk to me about it. And it just made me more curious and more curious. So I just did more research and more research and found out that I was living right next to their house pretty much. And they were where I was living, because I moved down to Tularosa. That's about, 15 minutes from Mescalero. And we have a bunch of like farms, not on my property, but the neighbors, I guess you could say, the rich neighbors, they have properties, and they had a lot of weird things happening on the properties, animals disappearing, and so I followed the creek that leads up to Mescalero, and because I studied so much and found out the ways to track Bigfoot and the things that they do, I found all kinds of evidence, and eventually I ended up, them coming around me. And they liked me. They didn't seem to be mad at me. I leave them bananas and peanut butter, and I've left them weed, and it ain't there when I get back.
So, hey, that's how I know we got that connection with Earth in every aspect.
Right,
you know?
right.
Earth likes us back.
No, I was the part that tripped me out on the documentary was when you guys were out camping and the hand touched. Man, I ain't gonna lie, I would have shit on myself. Like that ain't nothing to play with. And is it that you had like you've had all these years of interaction with Bigfoot? Does it make you calm like when you come around them now, or is it like second nature?
Well, now it's like second nature. I'll go out in the forest without flashlights or anything and just walk around the forest in the middle of the night. Kind of like let them know that I ain't scared of them and I'm not trying to, hunt them. Because I don't go out there with a gun either. They know what guns are and they can talk. They talk. They ain't just big old apes. You know what I mean? They have a language. And they've spoken around me too. So that night, that area that I was in, I've been in like researching that spot for years, and every time I go out there, I let them know I'm there. I say, hey, what's up, and let me do my thing. And they see me. I go all up in their habitat and all the structures they make with the wood.
Right.
So and I talk to them. They understand what I'm saying. And that little dude that went with me, he didn't believe in it. So I showed him a bunch of crazy stuff, and he was like, "Ooh, I want to go camping here." And I was like, "Really? You understand? They out here, right?" I was like, "This is their spot." I go, "But if you really want to," so when I called out, and I was like, "Hey, you guys," you know what I'm saying? I was like, "Come on down," So we're gonna be in our tent. If you want to come visit us, say what's up, And they already knew that kid, didn't believe it. He was they're watching us the whole time, and So, we're in the tent, and the crazy part wasn't the hand on the tent. The crazy part was when the Bigfoots walked up to the tent and sniffed the tent from the bottom of it to the very top. And then one of them creeped down again and stuck its arm under the tent, which is a huge arm. I'm over 6 feet tall and over 300 pounds. And that arm, compared to my arm, it was like 3 of my arms thick, and a good 2 feet longer than mine. And it went under the tent and it pushed over little dude. He was like, ah, and and I was like, that's when I said, bad Bigfoot, no. And it pulled out its arm real quick. And then that's when they stood up and peeled up the top of the tent and started looking down at the dude, because they already know I know what they are, and I ain't scared of them. So they were messing with him because I had those pictures, and they're going looking at him like just going ah.
Yeah, and that's when he was talking about he could see their noses, like he could see the nose.
Right.
Yeah, he was freaked out, man. That dude was freaked out, and he's just like tripped out because the way I was talking to them, because the rest of the night they were just walking around the tent. And I was telling them, hey, watch out for the military, watch out for these dudes are coming for you. Use this high. I know about the history of you guys. I've been studying it, and I mentioned some things that they had recognized from a long time ago because they passed their histories down to each other verbally, oral tradition, because they don't have books or anything to write with. So the way they speak is, of course, through language, and then to communicate with each other when they're not around each other. They either will do, the tree knocking, or they'll bend trees certain ways and weave them and leave shapes and stuff so they can talk to each other and say, go this way. Go this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I got a question, man. So we always hear about Bigfoot in different regions. So are we talking about the same exact species that's everywhere, like from Canada all the way down to us, or are they like different little hoods or something? Like what?
Oh, they got different hoods. They got different hoods and different cliques.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And throughout the whole world, we got, if there's a huge forest, there's Bigfoots.
They in there.
Like in China, the Bigfoots they're called the Yurang, and they're redheaded and they're about 6 feet tall. And they
North got like
America,
their heads are kind of like more pointed, right?
Well, they all got them pointy heads. They all got pointy heads, but they are different sizes. Some of them are more like how can I say, more human than others. You know what I mean? It's like they're just like humans. They're just like humans. Right. Like how we got midgets, we got tall dudes, we got priests, we got holy men, we got shamans, same thing. But like in North America are the biggest ones. Real big, like up there in Canada and mountains, and because like the biggest ones that we're dealing with here, like New Mexico area, they get 8 to 12 feet tall. Okay, the biggest one that I know out here, the average is 8 to 12 feet tall. There's some bigger, but it's real rare out here.
Yeah.
The biggest one that we've tracked out here was, I'd say, 15, 16 feet tall. You know what I mean? In Canada and Alaska, yeah. In Canada, Alaska, they get up to 20 feet. You know, they're huge. People don't understand how big they are. You know what I mean?
See, they fall in line with the dudes in New Mexico. They kind of shorter. I see.
You know what I mean?
I get it. No, but so what do you say? Because I know you come across people that's like, man, this is some bullshit. You out here in these woods, you probably high, you probably seeing things. You know, it don't matter how much evidence you bring, you always gonna have people that's gonna disprove you. So how do you fight that, man? How do you fight the people who are trying to basically unwind everything that you brought to the table?
With science.
Right.
So I worked on the Genome Project with Oxford University, Gallup of Mexico, and 13 blind study of the DNA of Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
So we have DNA evidence of Sasquatch. That's one. Two,
right.
The footprints that we have collected, when they're examined by the anthropologists, they have dermal ridges. They actually have footprints. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing to just stomp around in a funny, footprint, with the fake foot on, versus actual morphology. The foot flexes and has bone.
Right.
The fact that there's, been, we of course got video, we got, tons of photos, we got hair samples, and then they're like, well, it could be CGI, it could be fake.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, well, there's video before CGI existed. There's accounts, throughout the whole world, all the way to the Bible, times of the Bible, descriptions of these creatures. Tons of tribes throughout the world, they all have their own version of this creature. You know what I mean? And there's cave paintings of Bigfoot. So it's not just
right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's evidence. It's not a lack of evidence. It's a lack of acceptance of certain people that they'll refuse to believe it. You know what
I think I think there's a lot of people that do these hoaxes that kind of work against you because I got a little Sasquatch right here talking. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Come here, girl. Hold on for a second. Hold up.
No worries.
Hold up. I want to be on camera. Look, got me a little Sasquatch right here.
Hey, how you doing?
Too cute.
But what I'm saying is, all the well-known footage are hoaxes, and that's what turns a lot of people off. So, do you think it's hard to overturn that type of stuff with real footage and real facts and stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the belief that there's a bunch of fake footage. One, there's never been one CGI fake hoax footage.
Mm-hmm.
People think that. Once they find out that it costs about $10,000 to make a suit, want to be somewhat believable, that's when that number goes down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of it's just speculation and hearsay. Because everybody just tells each other. So the Patterson Gimlin footage of Patty, it's real famous, the most famous one of all. When it's really truly researched, and you look at the body, one, the female has breasts.
Yeah.
They jiggle and wiggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And silicone was very, very not jiggly and wiggly.
Yeah, they hard, bro. I know from experience.
Exactly. So, and then the other thing was on the leg of that Sasquatch, something happened in that satisfactory patch. It tore a hamstring or the side muscle, and you can see the muscle bulging as she walks. Okay. The best footage that exists, in my opinion, the best footage ever made is by Todd Standing. Everybody wants to hate on him, but Todd Standing, he's out of Calgary, and literally has high def 4K footage of Bigfoot. Wow. I mean, you can count the hairs on his face. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's up close, like it's this close. You know what I mean? And he got a lot of footage, and a lot of people try to say it's fake because his sister-in-law is in film, okay, and she's a makeup lady. But if you've ever been on film, there's a big difference between a makeup girl and a CG or a special effects person. Huge difference. One goes pat, 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 pat with some powder, you know what I'm saying? With a bit, like, adds to your mustache color or something. And then the other one literally creates and has to put each follicle hair to create any type of thing. And they charge. You know what I mean? So when you look at his footage, the human face, okay? I'm a professional artist. I went to college for everything. When you learn about the human face, we all, you and me, there's only one eye space between our eyes, okay? So you can only fit one of my eyes in between. Every human, the same way, unless they're like born really, really deformed. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I done seen some weird ass females. They got the eyes on the side of it. Have you ever seen Brandy? You know Brandy, the R&B singer. She got her eyes on the side of her head.
On the side of her head.
She look like a
fetus face is what I call it. Just like Britney Spears, her stuff's just a little bit far apart. But the face with the Todd Standing Bigfoot, you can fit 3 of that Bigfoot's eyes in between.
Wow.
It's so huge. It's like there's a bunch of ancient masks from time way back in the day, and they're really big. We can't look through them without going like this. You can't do it at the same time. It's just too big. So, you know, if you break it down scientifically, you can prove anybody wrong. But as long as they're not willing to accept it, it's like trying to, prove to somebody that, I don't know, social distancing is the best thing in the world to do right now.
Right.
Depends on the person, depends on if you do research what's going on and how many people normally die from the flu every year versus what's going on here. The list goes on and on. Not that I'm complaining. I do hope one day I can get the stimulus, but I'm glad some people have and it's helping them.
So I was in the military. I was in the Marines, man. So my biggest thing is, what's the military's role in this whole Bigfoot thing? Is this something they don't want us to know about? They've already done the research. They've collected the shit poops and everything else, and it's just something or is it to the fact where they know and are they protecting the Bigfoot? Is that something that's happening?
Here's the military. I was raised in the military myself, born on an Air Force base, and been stationed on a whole bunch of places. Okay. The first time you hear of the military ever encountering Bigfoot was in the Vietnam War. Okay. When they were trying to raid all the different, the Viet Cong, they were in the jungle. They kept on running into what they called rock apes, which are Bigfoot. And they would come rockets because these Bigfoots would get pissed off and they'd come into their area and they'd throw boulders at them. And no matter how hard they tried to kill the Bigfoots shooting them, they couldn't hit them. You know what I mean? Because they were just too quick and agile in that that landscape. So the locals knew of these creatures and they knew to stay out of those areas. So in Vietnam, their commanders eventually had to tell them stay away from these areas. Don't go in those areas. You got to stay out. Okay. Another time we had special forces go in. There's a lot of disappearances in our national forests, and this little kid, he got taken, and they sent out special forces to find the little kid. And they just thought it was really odd. Why would you send a whole unit to look for a lost 3-year-old?
Yeah.
in because they knew what was going on. The military, the first time the military officially got bodies and took bodies was when Mount St. Helens exploded. Okay? When that volcano said boom, tons and tons of animals died. So when they were going there into the mountains to evacuate people, they ran into injured Sasquatches and a bunch of dead ones. So
shit.
Yeah. So they started collecting them from there, and you know our military, they want the best, strongest soldiers possible.
Right.
So they've been toying and playing with the DNA with those creatures, trying to do their own things with them. And now, you know, through this time of research, I've been on a lot of reservations where some Sasquatch have been hit by cars, they've fallen off cliffs, and they'll call the local rangers. The rangers will call the FBI. FBI shows up, pick up the body, and then nothing happens. You know, there's the forest fires. They know they're there. They have them. They don't. There's a whole bunch of, you know, kind of like with the whole conspiracy world, with you know, our true history. Is the world round? Is the world flat? Is the Bible real? Is the Bible not real? Is NASA full of it? You know, did they go to the moon or not? People don't understand that it's all tied together. And if our government admits one thing, like they didn't want to admit about what they did to us. With the giving all kinds of people syphilis and all kinds of stuff, you know.
Right.
And you know, until they're proven, you know, that they really did it, they ain't gonna say anything because it's you know, they backed themselves into a corner with so much need to know that a whole bunch of stuff and piss off the people. You know what I mean?
Well, I want to say this because for any woman that lives in New Mexico that's watching this, don't take your ass up to North New Mexico looking for something tall, dark with a big dick. Y'all leave them damn things alone, man. They love. I'm telling you, bro. These women love tall, dark, big. You ain't gotta have. Sasquatch is the perfect new black dude. They tall, they dark, they got big dicks. They ain't got no job. They got a lot of kids.
She can braid his hair all the way down. You know what I'm saying? She can braid his hair all the way down for it.
Stu, you about to have all these women drive up north and be in the woods, man.
Right? You want to hear some wild stuff though? So check this out. Check this out. So in history and currently, women get abducted by Bigfoot. There's been tribes that there used to have leave offerings at the edge of the forest, so the Bigfoots would come and steal the girls because they would get them pregnant. To get them pregnant. When the girls, if they didn't die because the Bigfoot was so big, if they didn't die and got pregnant, after the Bigfoots would come and take them. So, like, there was a native girl named Winnemucca, okay? And she was like leading the explorers of the early 1800s, you know, guiding them and stuff. And she told them about this tribe of giant, hairy, you know, beings that were, you know, over 8 feet tall, covered in red hair, that, you know, steal women, rape them, get them pregnant. But the babies were so huge that if the Bigfoots didn't rip the baby out of the woman before it reached complete, you know, gestation or whatever, it would kill her. So they would kill the woman anyway, take the baby out, and they would eat the women.
Wow.
And the tribe ended up going to the cave. It was in
the hell.
Yeah. They went to the cave and they put wood at the entrance of the cave and they lit it on fire and it smoked out all, you know, it killed all the Bigfoots in there. And years later, in the early, like 1920s, these ranchers were digging out the cave for guano, you know what I'm saying, for fertilizer. And they found all like 80 giant skeletons of these Bigfoots. And there's a museum with this stuff there, giant sandals, and they had big, you know, big ass giant axes that regular humans couldn't swing, and it was real. It really happened. You know what I mean? It's wild. There's a whole bunch of history out there that they ain't telling, and they ain't trying to share.
Man, here I am joking, and this shit is real. Ladies, stay your ass out of the woods.
Stay out of northern New Mexico.
Hey, just keep it. Hey, stay out the woods. Just keep getting your brothers downtown at the Greyhound stations. Don't go to the woods.
For real. You know?
Hey, no, Jesus, I got one more question because I didn't know that you had your hand in a lot of other things besides the Sasquatch. Yeah. Of all the things that people do believe in, don't believe in, what is the one thing that's a popular belief that you know for a fact or don't think is real?
Okay. Let's reverse the question. Okay, we can reverse the question because it's more like, what do I know is real that most people don't believe is real? You know what I mean?
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, that's even a better question.
All right. Two of the big ones. Two of the big ones are we didn't go to the moon at all.
I always believe we didn't do that either.
I can give you the technicals on that and how I know they didn't. And here's the biggest one that everybody want to just walk out the door when I tell them: the Earth is flat. Yep.
Come on, man. Really? I was waiting until you said that one, man. For real?
I'm telling you, for real, I can give you the technicals.
Oh, man.
Come on, man.
Really? Yep.
Okay, so are you gonna do a documentary? Are you gonna touch on this with any type of media or anything? Because
I'm working. I'm working on documentary.
You already working on it?
Oh yeah. If you want, I can give you guys some things to think about. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right. One. All right. You know how they say, well, the proof that the Earth is round is that there's pictures of the Earth, right?
Right.
Well, if you research it, there's no pictures of the Earth that are real. They're all composite images paid for by NASA for artists to put together to render. There's actually not one real picture of Earth. If you look at the blue marble, the one that's in every science book, and you zoom in, you can see it's Photoshop. They clone stamped a bunch of the clouds. Okay? That guy, I ain't playing, I'll show you. The last guy that made the latest version of the blue marble, he admits that he has to Photoshop it because the data is told to him that over here is clouds there, little cloud over here. Okay, here's another thing for you. All right, look at the moon when it's out. You know how big it is, right?
Right.
Okay. Right. So now you go on the internet and you're gonna the pictures the astronauts took from the moon when they didn't go. All right, the pictures they took from the moon of the Earth. The problem was whoever was the artist or Photoshop dude that made that image forgot that the Earth is way bigger than the moon. You ain't gonna see the Earth the same size we see the moon from here. You would just see Earth. That's it behind you. Okay.
Wow. Yeah,
you're right.
When you turn up the contrast on that image, there's a perfect square cutout of the Earth where they photoshopped it. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So once you realize,
you see this, dude, you know I don't smoke much, but Jesus is somebody I can't smoke with. He'll blow my damn mind, bro. He'll blow my mind. I'll be high as hell, retarded.
Man, that's why we had to talk. That's why we had to talk tonight. You know. Now, Buck, do you know anything about the Anunnaki?
What's up?
You ever heard of the Anunnaki? You ever heard that term?
No.
Okay, Jesus, are the Bigfoot related to what the Anunnaki were or whatever?
Wait, what is the Anunnaki? What is that?
So the Anunnaki.
Go ahead.
The Anunnaki are basically the. They say they were the ones who originally inhabited the Earth. They came here and created a bunch of species to basically take care of the Earth for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. They created human-like things that were unable to be, they were just too hard of workers, but they weren't able to do a whole lot of other stuff. So they had to give them a little emotion. So they basically got rid of a race and created a new race, and that's where we come in.
All right. So I'm gonna give you the cliff notes on the Anunnaki. Okay. So the Anunnaki are the ones we know as God and the devil and the angels. All right. But this is before Bible. And before worshiping them, They weren't called gods back then, okay? They came to Earth to mine gold, all right? And when they came to Earth, this ties together with this show. When they came to Earth, they brought beer, wine, and weed. Mm-hmm.
My kind of
it's in the cuneiform tablets. They called it hemp, of course, but come on now.
The Emerald Tablets, you're right. Absolutely right. The Emerald Tablets, yes, sir.
So they were mining, 600, of their people, angels, whatever you want to call them, but they're just like us. They love partying, they love sex, they love chilling, they love smoking and drinking and all that good stuff. Okay? So eventually they got tired. Not tired, they got lazy. And they created the first group of slaves. All right? And the first group of slaves that they created were the Bigfoots. They called them the Incadoos. All right? So at one point, there's a story called the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's the original version of the story of creation. All right. So these Bigfoots, I just don't call them Bigfoots, okay? So these Bigfoots eventually got tired of being treated like crap. They were slaves, and they would start like all the animals and big game that these beings were catching to feast on and not share. The Bigfoots would let them loose and undo the cages, which pissed off the dudes. And the leader of all the Bigfoots was like, you know what? We're gonna boycott, we're gonna strike, we ain't working. Nope. They treat us right, So Gilgamesh, the God King, he told the leader of them and said, look, you're gonna do what we say, or else. And the leader Bigfoot was like, no. And the God King Gilgamesh said, okay, then I'm gonna put you in your place. He's like, I challenge you to an all-out, no bars head. It's going to be a King of the Cage event, no rules, wrestling match between me and you. And when I whoop your ass, you go back to work. And the Bigfoot said, well, what if I win? And the God King said, ain't going to happen, right? So they fought. They did the wrestling match, shook the foundations of the world, right? I mean, because they were both huge giants, But somehow, some way, the Bigfoot put the Gilgamesh in a good armbar. He had that dude all, and he was like, uncle, right? And got really embarrassed and pissed off because he's not supposed to be able to get beat because he was a god, right? And he banished all the Bigfoots, the Incadoos, to the depths of the forest around the world, never to mingle amongst man again. What happens? We find that a bunch of big ass hairy dudes in all the forests around the world that don't want to be around us.
So basically, you telling me Bigfoot is basically the nigga of the earth. That's what they want. That's what it is. That's basically what it is.
And that's why they love me.
Wow. It's so crazy because before I started looking into you, Jesus, look, most black people think when you think of Bigfoot, is white people shit. That's white people shit.
No shit.
They lying, they playing. So when you give that type of education, you can't help but to think that's us. That's really I'm not even gonna say a lower form. That's a higher form of us, to be honest with you.
So when you find out that the DNA test that we did, and we found out the mitochondrial DNA of Bigfoot, the original mother of the first one was a human, just like the story of the Anunnaki when they created us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So whenever
y'all make me dig deep.
Yeah, when people be like,
"Buck,
you came up human, it must have been contaminated." It's like, no, it's because we're both the same people. And when they created us, they made us smaller, easier to handle, and easier to tell what to do.
And shorter lifespans.
We're more delicate.
Much shorter lifespans. They gave us lifespans of up to 120 years only.
Yep.
They took, little chromosomes and stuff out of us, and but they gave us more compassion and all of that stuff too.
Stu, do me a favor, bro. Send me all this shit, man. This is the type of shit I love. I love to learn about stuff like this. And Stu, just from my post, I think differently, bro. You just can't tell me nothing.
Right.
I believe it. So
no doubt.
This is the type of stuff I like to learn about, man. Because like I said, when it came to Bigfoot, I always thought, I was like, come on, man. it's got to be true. You can't have all of these millions and millions of witnesses, all of this evidence, not just footage. You got scientific, you got hair samples, all this, and it's not true. To me, it's something. It says something more when you have more people that say something's not true than people that saying it is, because it's a reason why they don't want you to find out.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, just like here's an analogy. Here's an analogy that we all can understand. Until there was video, okay, like Rodney King and some other people, no one wanted to believe us that police were doing that to us.
And we know that shit been happening. We didn't need cameras to know that it was happening. All you had to do was look at our uncle's back. Said he got his ass whooped. That happened.
For real.
You know what I mean? So, you want to hear another mind bender? Woo.
What's that?
Here's another one for you to think about. Satellites. Okay? They're not real. Okay? So think about this. You were in the military. You know how GPS works, right?
Yep.
Do you know that satellites didn't exist in the 1940s, but they had GPS tracking still?
Wow. How was that?
Yeah. Because it's land-based. It's all land-based. And the only time, that's what it's called, GPS, ground penetrating, All right. Yeah. So check this out. If you jump on Google, you type in what percentage of all information and communications are in fiber optic cables throughout the oceans going from country to country. It'll come up 99%. Okay. The other 1% is landlines and towers. So if you add those two together, that's 100%.
That's everything.
What the hell are the satellites doing? Right? Then check this out. You go on Google and you type in photos of satellites in space. Ain't one real picture. They're all CGI or drawings.
I'm in front of my laptop right now. I'm finna do
it. You too, huh? You too.
Okay, trip out.
So you want me to look up photos?
Yeah, go to your images on Google of photos of satellites in space.
Okay.
Or from space. Trip out on this. Some wild stuff. Well, y'all look up, I'm gonna keep on talking, okay? So after you look that up, you're just gonna see a bunch of drawings and CGI photos.
Wow, you ain't lying, bro.
Man, that's real spit. That's real spit. That all looks CGI.
All of the images are not real photos.
Right. Now type in this, okay?
Even when I go to.
You ready?
They all look CGI to me.
Yep. Yeah. You're gonna type in this now. Type in image of all satellites orbiting Earth. Okay? It's going to blow your mind how many satellites are supposedly going.
Let me see here.
Hold on.
Well, goddamn, it shows it should be. It look like it's 50 million of these motherfuckers.
Yeah. But now if you type in images of Earth from space, ain't one satellite anywhere floating around.
You're right. Whoa.
Something to think about. That's definitely something to think about, Jesus. Hell yeah.
Wow, bruh. And you know what's so crazy? You don't even have to be like a scientist. Like, that's common fucking sense right there.
That's common sense as hell.
That's because when I looked up the images of satellites orbiting Earth, that shit looked like a bunch of damn mosquitoes around the Earth. And then when I go to images of Earth from space,
nothing.
It's clear as fucking day. Ain't nothing out there.
Yeah. It's funny because when you buy a satellite, it costs $150 million to launch, and only our government will allow it, NASA. Okay, so you pay $150 million, right, to tell them I want to buy a satellite. They're like, okay, if you add in an extra $50 million, we'll add in a early missile detection, so you don't get shot down. Right? Never once has one been shut down. 2, there's no jobs for satellite technicians. They must be amazing machines, right? Because they don't break ever.
Ever.
You know what I mean? So the other problem with that is just like the ISS, okay? It's supposed to have been floating 28 years where it's at, but where it's at in our atmosphere, it's 900 to 3,000 degrees at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Made of aluminum. Aluminum
Wouldn't survive, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you ever hook up a car stereo system in your car, and you get your lighter out and you light the ends of the wires, and you bite it off and you stick it into the speakers, right?
Right.
Well, that's the same wires and the same plastic that's on the ISS. It ain't special, but you can just use a little lighter and melt it.
Man, you can't even put aluminum foil in the damn microwave.
Yeah,
for real. Let alone set it up 5,000 degrees.
Have you heard of the Van Allen radiation?
No.
Okay. Well, that's supposed to be an area between the moon and Earth with super high radiation, and it's apparently about 5,000 degrees at all times. Okay. So they're telling us that they went from Earth to Moon 14 really, because they went 1, 2,
back and forth.
They did it 7 times in a tin can. With no protection.
And it's that hot.
5,000 degrees, okay? Yeah. Come on now. So then, during a press conference, Buzz Aldrin and the dude who went with him, they're in this press conference in the 80s, and one of the reporters goes, "We're just curious, guys. How did you guys get back and forth without any damage or radiation problems or melting or, cooking?" And their answer was, "Well, you got to understand, we hadn't discovered the radiation belt yet, so we didn't have to prepare for it." Come on.
That don't mean it wasn't there.
If I tell you I don't believe in a Mack truck and I run into the highway, I'm still going to get hit.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's a whole bunch of things that when people are like, "Man, the word in the way is flat," it's like, this one I love. It's like, "Do you believe in God?" And they're like, "Well, yeah." "You read the Bible?" "Well, yeah." The God says it's flat, right?
Yes. So do you think, Jesus, do you think all of this stuff is kept under wraps for our safety? Or because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, they do that for our safety," or is it just to keep us dumb?
Nope. Okay, it's for power, money, and to keep us ignorant.
Come on. Hold on for a second.
Okay?
Come on.
It's all good. It's all good. So it comes to money, power, and easily controllable. Okay? There's the baby girl. Hi,
there she is.
She's too cute.
She just sleepy. That's all.
Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie.
So if you think about this, people are like, why would they do that, right? Why would NASA lie? Did you know that we give NASA currently $54 million a day in their budget?
How much a day?
$54 million.
Damn.
That's their budget. And it's actually maybe a little bit more now. So I can tell you, I can give you 54 million reasons a day that they do that. You know what I mean? Then you got the other reason is because if we trip out on this, if we were to know that we really are that special and in the center of this universe that we call a universe, we wouldn't be so okay with killing each other.
Right.
We wouldn't be so
That's
okay
true.
with going against the 10 Commandments or whatnot.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, there's those reasons right there. They want to keep us dumb. They want us to believe that we're an insignificant little speck of dust in a vast universe and nothing means nothing. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's all right. We can depopulate whatever we need to do. It ties together with what's going on today. Yeah, for real. It really is. And that's why they went 500 years ago, they went on a shopping spree to destroy all cultures and nature and history, all of our histories. And if you look at all of our histories in Africa, North America, in Asia, all of our tribes knew the earth was flat. Okay? Now, why would we all know that? And we're finding out through the TV show Ancient Aliens that we were really high-tech, had high technology back then, and we were smarter back then than we are now about the universe. So how are we gonna dog them for what they knew and what we think we know now?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't make no sense.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is that when you really look at everything, like, okay, here's a good one. People say another reason why they know the Earth isn't flat is because they can watch a ship sail off, right, and disappear. Mm-hmm. Okay, have you ever been to a hotel room with a long hallway?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look down that long hallway, there's a light, and it gets smaller and smaller to the end of the hallway, right? Does that mean at the end of the hallway it's only an inch tall?
No.
That is called perspective, the way our eyes work, all right?
Yeah.
If you go to a beach and you watch that boat sail off and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and it disappears, break out your camera and then zoom in. It's going to come back in the view all the way to the water splashing. Hold it there, wait till it cools off and turns small again and disappears again. Put down the camera and pull out a telescope. It's going to come back, okay? NASA gives us a equation for the curvature of Earth. Only problem is when you use that equation, it don't work. You're able to see across, like, Chicago, across that big ass lake right there from Chicago to the other side. You shouldn't be able to see it. There's so much curvature, supposedly, that Chicago should be below your view. But on a clear day, you can see Chicago all the way to the bottom of the buildings. Hold on a second. That don't make no sense. That shouldn't be. All right, your bottom is. You ever type this up in your Googleator right now? Okay, look up this image.
Googleator.
Google image search the United Nations logo.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That is the flat Earth map. All right. Now,
I got you.
Search, now image search the World Health Organization's logo.
WHO logo.
Yep.
Same shit.
Same thing.
Same thing. All right. Now, did you know that any Navy person will know this? Okay, you can ask me, you know any Navy friends? You holler at them, they go vote. Do you know which map they use when they're trying to navigate in the ocean? That you can guess. The flat Earth map.
Flat Earth map.
Because if they use the round one, it takes them off course because it's not accurate. That interesting, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wait,
so
hold on.
If another thing is, sea captains when they tried to go to Antarctica, you understand, Antarctica literally surrounds them. You don't fall off. Fall off. It's supposed to only be 12,000 miles in circumference. It should only take about a year to go around. But when you around it, it takes 4 years and it measures over 70,000 miles around. That don't make sense. Okay, that throws it off a little bit, But let's get back to Bigfoot and weed.
My man.
There was a report.
So Jesus
about it all, man.
Yeah.
Jesus, what do you think about who was it? Bobcat Goldthwait's documentary on Bigfoot? What did you think of his?
It was all right. Like I said, he needs to know. There's a lot he doesn't know. I like the fact that he tried to do it. Try to look. Same thing with Joe Rogan. With Joe Rogan again, he kind of herd mentality with him a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As of late. Before he was all into proving you're doing conspiracy research and all that, but then the Illuminati said, "Man,
they start messing with money."
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So there's that problem, but the list goes on. I could show people all day why certain things are certain things. It's all about perspective. You got with the whole flat Earth thing, the dome. Okay, so here's some military talk. Look up Project Fishbowl. Okay? Project Fishbowl, that's where we try to blow up with nuclear weapons the dome. Okay? We can only go so far high. If you watch NASA launch the shuttle, it'll go up and then turn sideways, and then down. That's not how space is supposed to work. Okay. 2, if you look up spacewalks, okay, get on YouTube and you can look up water bubbles in space. And at one point, check this out. I'm gonna blow your mind in a second though. All right. So at one time, an astronaut almost drowned while on a spacewalk.
What?
Remember that? Yeah. Yeah. You can look that up. An astronaut almost drowned on a spacewalk. And the way NASA fixed that for future times, so it won't happen again, guess what they did?
Hold on, we lost you.
They put snorkels in the space helmet.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is the real whammy. Okay. The Challenger mission. You remember when that happened, when it exploded?
Yep.
Well, all the astronauts are alive right now, and they're teaching at colleges. The ones that supposedly died.
Hold on.
What? Hold on. Wait. Say that again.
Yep.
The astronauts that supposedly died in the Challenger mission are all currently alive with tenures at universities as professors, and the majority of them didn't even change their name.
No, man, come on now.
Look it up. Look it up. Jump on Google's images, okay, and type in NASA.
I'm
Challenger
on in there
hoax.
now. Let me see, man. Challenger.
NASA Challenger hoax, and it'll show them right now versus when they were astronauts. Watch.
Challenger still alive. Oh man. Man, gives the names. Judith Resnick, Gregory Jarvis, Francis Scobie, Ronald McNair, Mike Smith.
Dick Scobie. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so for me, finding out just one lie by our NASA, by government, whatever, but 2,
discredits
3, and 4,
discredits everything, man.
Exactly. Everything that you once knew, reality is actually fantasy, and fantasy is actually reality.
Wow.
Smoke. Wow. Put that in your pipe. You know what I mean?
Wow. All right. Well, man, guys, I think we're gonna have to leave it right there, y'all. That's a lot to blow my mind with. We've been on for a good hour tonight.
Hey, y'all finna have hey, Jesus, let me tell you something. You finna have me up all night. You done already got me down this wormhole, man. I'm not lying to you, because I don't sleep as it is. I'm finna be up all night looking into all this stuff. I appreciate it, man.
Word, man. Yeah. Truth is out there. Knowledge is power. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right, guys. So where can everybody find y'all, man? Where can people find you at, Buck?
Oh, y'all know where I'm at, man. Y'all look under my real name, Robert Gibson, with a P. That's on all social media as well. On Facebook, my real name, Robert Gibson. But Buck Dangerous, that's on everything else. Twitter, my fan page on Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that.
Right on. Appreciate you coming through it. Jesus, where can people find you at?
Well, if you want to watch my research, my videos of UFOs that I film myself and Bigfoot stuff and all that, you just gotta go to youtube.com/Jesus Junior 2012. Okay, or look up Breaking Bad's Gonzo on YouTube. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook too under Jesus Ion, or just go on the easiest way to find anything about me. Like when I ran for president against all kinds of people like Trump. Go to Google and type in Jesus Junior actor, and all my stuff will pop up.
Right on. Jesus, appreciate having you as well, man.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Man, everybody, this was a great evening. A whole lot of twists and turns and all kinds of crazy shit.
Stu, I enjoyed myself, man. This right here, I enjoyed myself. I really appreciate the invite, man.
I have fun.
Man, I appreciate you doing it. I appreciate both y'all showing up for real. It's an honor, man. So I guess we're going to call it here. Info.thc. We appreciate everybody watching. We out of here. Peace.
For sure.